Wow. Hello, tea lovers, and welcome back. Today we are joined by two panelists, both beautiful women inside and out. And not just beautiful, but they are boss women. If y'all want to take a little time and introduce yourself.
I'm Navisa. Um, I am local in Atlanta. I am a hairstylist and makeup artist for television and film. I am a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ, and I am the CEO and founder of Mending Mothers Ministries. It is a um, community of women who have lost their children. So we started that for support and prayer and togetherness. So that's who I am. Hey, y'all.
My name is Sharon Corbett
Thank you.
Broxton. I am local in Atlanta as well. I've been here for over 20 years. I just said that out loud. Um, I I
She did.
have many talents, I would like to believe. I started out as a hairstylist before the other many things. I am a mother, a wife. I have two children who are running me, but in Jesus' name, we're gonna keep it going. But yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Thank y'all so much for coming on today. And tea lovers, today we are going to be discussing quite a few different little subtopics and just gleaning from the wisdom that both of these women have for us. And so we're just going to jump right in. Ladies, tell us what you would describe as a conversation that, because women talk, and, sometimes you can find yourself in a conversation that has kind of shifted from just a general conversation, perhaps about other people, to then being a gossipy conversation. What would you say then shifts that conversation over into something being gossipy and maybe not going where you thought it was going?
Okay. I have many examples. I have many examples. I don't know. It seems like it's catchy from one person to the next, right? So it seems like when one person gets on the roll and the other person chimes in like, yeah, because da 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 da, and they'd be like, yeah, and then somebody else chimes in. So it can pop from person to person, and before you know it, it's just on a roll talking about people. I mean, it just one person can express what they think or how they feel about something, and then it can just jump. And I've seen it jump from um, people not necessarily being around the entertainment world. I've seen people start to talk about people in the entertainment world, and then it'll transfer from people in the entertainment world to people that we all are sitting here and all of us know. So it
Mhm.
just it spreads like wildfire, in my opinion.
Um, I think it happens really easy. Well, when it's gonna start is when they say, "Well, I ain't want to say nothing,"
You ain't hear it from me.
or "You ain't hear from me," or like that. You already know where it's going. I think as women, we have to learn how to, especially certain situations, as my grandmother could say, keep living. So I think we are in a time where you can witness someone else going through something and you don't realize that it could be you
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow. Um, and we talk as if it could never be us.
Mm-hmm. Or
But
never was
I
us.
think we're living in or never
Mm-hmm.
was exactly. So I think right now we're in a space where everybody just wants to talk about everything and everybody because it's social media. And yes, people show certain things and then we assume or we make,
Mm-hmm.
comments and it just goes. It'd be something innocent, which I don't know if innocent is the correct word, but something small, but it turns out to be bigger than what it should have been in the first place. When a lot of times we just need to just be quiet and keep them in prayer and be thankful it's not us at that present moment.
I agree.
And it can be really dangerous because, we're talking about women and conversations and engaging with other women, but oftentimes gossip leaves the door open for offense. And with like you said, social media just being so prevalent now, people putting so much of their information on social media. How do you both steer away from engaging in that type of stuff? Because it's easy for people to go put comments, like people comment on everything. So, how do you both try to keep yourselves out of the mix of all of that type of stuff?
Honestly speaking, for myself, I'm trying to sound churchy on y'all. I try to monitor because I have a lot of times a quick mind. Like my mind is witty. And so I can have a real quick comeback for stuff or a quick response when I see stuff a lot of the time. And although some things come to my mind, um, before I comment stuff, I may have to think like, would the Lord be pleased with you making this comment? Would this comment hurt someone's feelings? Does this comment show compassion or lack of compassion or lack of empathy? And that is how I keep myself in line. And if it were me going through something and it just so happened to make it to social media or I put it on social media, would I want what I feel like or what I could perceive as judgment to be on me? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I just try to do to people what I want done to me. Even if it's, I've had people send me stuff before and be like, girl, what do you think about this? Oh my gosh, da 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 da. And I'm like, I don't know the story. And so I'm not going to comment on that. You know what I mean? I just try to do it the same way I would want something done to me. So.
I think that right now I am trying to lead with intention and grace. And that's on both sides. It's something that I will admit because I work with women every day, all day, all types of women. So I don't even have to go looking for it. It comes to me. It is no particular tax bracket. The richest white, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody's all, because let's just be real. A lot of times it's easy to focus on other people and their stuff besides your own. So that's kind of, I deal with it, see it all day long. And it's not easy because even my son's sports, like the parents and the moms and they're saying this and that because you spend so much time, you kind of, I'm not gonna say run out of stuff to say, but it's just really really easy to do. So I try to just lead with intention and grace, and as Navisa said, try to ask myself, would God be pleased, and how would I feel if this was me? Because you don't know the story, and it's so many, and I don't know if I told my husband yesterday, I said, I just either do I wear something on my forehead that says, tell me, tell me, tell me. So all of the parents,
Yes.
all of the moms,
Yes.
they want to come. And I be like, I don't want to know this stuff. I don't want to.
Jesus.
And it's not even about anybody else. It's about their stuff,
Yes.
like their problems, their situations. And I'm like, Lord, but I want to listen. But I will say, it's so many people going through. Life is really, really hard right now for people, and they are really, really struggling. So you just gotta lead with grace.
Yeah.
Lead with grace.
I agree. And I feel the same way. It's like total strangers will walk up to me and tell me they like deepest, darkest stuff. I thank God that I'm a person of integrity and that I'm trustworthy enough not to tell people's business. Because if I told the business,
Mhm.
I'd be around people that if I tell their business, y'all, it'll be it'll be all over TMZ. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I've been in situations where I've had to sign an NDA. I've been in situations where an NDA should have been signed, but I didn't sign one. I wasn't required to, or they may not have thought about it, or um, in a quick moment, it's like, oh, we need somebody. And I just kind of come in the door for whatever the gig is or whatever the job is. But even still outside of that, or inside of that arena, I still don't come and say what I see, because a lot of times you're in these people's personal space. You are
Mhm.
around their secrets. You're around their family. You're around their life. Like, you know what I mean? You're with them behind the camera while the cameras aren't rolling, because you're preparing them for that, for, to get in front of the camera. So, um, I just try to keep in mind that it's an honor to be considered trustworthy. And I don't want to be the one that is always in the middle of something, some he said, she said stuff. I've even had God teach me a lesson times past when I was younger, and something happened to someone and I was like, she's so stupid for that. And she this and she that. And I had so much to say. And then years later, I found myself in the same exact situation that person was in. And it was like, remember when you said they was stupid? And remember when you said if that was you, you would have done da 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 da. And so life even has a way of teaching us, like, smack that hand, like, you know what I'm saying? And those are life lessons that no one can take away from you. Like, when you, hopefully you learn it when you learn it. And even more so in times recent, I have been like, I don't mean no harm, but don't tell me nothing. I don't want to hear that. Like, you know what I mean? I was talking to somebody and I said, now, I don't know what's going on, but whatever y'all got going on, I don't got time for that. I Let me let you know this is what's going on, and I'm going to bed. I'll talk to you later. It's like, you getting off the phone? I say yes, bye. I don't I don't want that. I'm trying to keep myself intact. I'm trying to keep my frame of thought positive. I'm trying to keep my frame of thought on my goals. And we got to be careful to find balance in allowing people to, confide in us, and for them to just be dumping trash on us. You know what I'm saying? So I try to be mindful about that too.
I'm currently in graduate school for counseling, and that is one thing that they are harping on right in the beginning is you will hear a lot of stuff. You have to take care of you just so that you have something basically to pour out of for other people, but then also learning how to disengage and separate. So I think y'all are giving wonderful advice for sure. So growing up, I have you meet girls all different places, and used to be a little group of girls that they might say mean things. They were usually pretty cute and they just had their little clique, but they were called like the mean girls. And sometimes mean girls turn into mean women. Talk to us about your engagement with women who turn into what seems like mean women and they have catty conversations. How do you deal with that?
I don't deal with it anymore. Um, I'll distance myself. I'll be to myself in a room full of people. Like, I'll be cordial, I'll be kind, but I'm not getting in the cattiness, like they throwing shade and all kind of stuff, because like I said, I have a very witty mind and I'll have a quick comeback. But then I started thinking along the lines of, and this came through hardship. Karen knows I went through a really tough time. Um, I don't even know if it was within this last year, but definitely the year before and the year before that. So I went through a really, really tough, dark time. And in that time, um, it was very necessary. I didn't know it at the time, of course. It was very necessary. And thank you for showing up. Sharon showed up at my door to make sure I was okay. But in those moments and in those times and coming to the end of it, I begin to realize that people cannot give you what they don't have. And so if a person is critical on themselves, they're going to be critical to everybody. They can only speak or see from the lens that they have. And so if you don't love yourself, you can't love somebody else. If you don't feel like you look good, you don't think nobody looks good. It also will prompt jealousy. I think conversations like that come from an inner source. Like, I think it comes from the inside. And it is, I've seen stuff sometimes that I just look at somebody and be like, is you cool? Like, you cool? What's happening? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or you all right? When I've seen that has been my approach a lot, because God, to God be the glory. The person that I am now is not who I used to be. And the person that I used to be, I would get very, very angry, not fast, but when I get angry, it's bad. So I didn't have a quick temper, but I had a bad one, if that makes sense. But just looking inwardly and praying and asking the Lord to show me myself and why is this and why is that. I begin to see people from the inside out instead of from the outside in, because looking at a lot of women who are catty or who have been catty seems like they always have it together. Like they're put together. They have everything they want. They have everything they need. It's nothing that they can't access, when inside they're empty, or they are hurting, or they are offended, from something that happened probably in childhood that they never got resolved. And so they grow up and turn into a mean person. You know what I mean? And so when I see that, I don't engage with it, even if it's coming for me. Like, so I've had people come for me, and then it says, it's like, if I respond to that, are they going to change? If I respond to that, are they going to walk away the same person they were before I said something? Or I don't have to be right. Okay, sis. God bless you. God bless you. Okay. He has. He has. He has. He blessing you too, sis. Because I ain't dive on you. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm thankful that that's not even where my mind goes now. You know what I mean? It's just people are hurting. And I feel like that's where it prompts from. It's you either going to operate from fear or faith. They can't operate at the same time, but they're on the same plane. So you're going to either believe in the fear and flow from that, or you're going to have faith in positivity and you're going to flow in that, even if it's hard. So,
I kind of heard two questions. The mean girl, click this, and then how do you separate yourself from that? But I've probably been accused of the mean girl a lot. Not necessarily by my actions, but of how people perceive you when they don't know you.
mm-hmm.
I've known Visa for over 20 years, so we have we've lived life together. I'll say we have shared heartache, heartbreak, loss of people.
Yes.
We've had good times. We've had God, thank the Lord that He put His covering on us good times.
Yes.
But so she's witnessed or experienced a lot of this, but people that don't know me kind of perceive me to be that, but I'm from that. But I will say that I am very, I keep walls up. And sometimes that makes people believe that that's who I am until they get to know me. And then to know me, they're like, "Oh, you're nothing like what I thought you were," and I'm like, "Girl,
Hmm.
what you thought?" But I so
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
ex-
Like, huh?
yeah, so I've experienced that a lot. I have now coming into myself. It took many years, but I'm comfortable with that because if you don't know me or want to get to know me, then you're not my people. Um, but I have never been one to. We are young. When you're younger, you talk about people. You say this, you say that. She thinks you this, whatever, or that will mess with your boyfriend. All those things, the catty things that you
Hmm.
do before you grow up. But
Hmm.
now I don't. Yeah, that's not what I do. I don't even have those type of friends in my
Hmm.
circle. Thankfully, the people that are still my friends and still close to me, we grew together. So
Hmm.
we don't even have to check each other or hold each other accountable for those things because we grew together. But I don't engage in it because it's not cute for one. Um,
Mm-mm.
and someone's misery, I've never understood how someone's misery can make people happy. I don't understand that. That makes no
Mhm.
sense to me.
Mhm.
But again, like you said, people can't give you what they don't have. They don't even have the capacity to do so. I've heard
Yep.
um a pastor once say, if you're a giraffe, why are you talking to turtles? Like your whole perspective and your whole vision is different. The giraffe is
Mhm.
tall. He see blue skies, and the turtle looking at grass.
Does.
Trying to
Mhm.
make his way
Mhm.
through. But so you have to you got to know who your people are and who you are. And like I said, thankfully I have grown with people. We've all grown, but that
Mhm.
I don't have. I can't. I got too much other stuff going on, so the negative I can't do it. I can't do it. And that group of
Mhm.
main girls, and it's so I don't like to see it in little girls, and it starts that way too. Um, which is crazy because you're like, how are you so little, and you already like
Mean.
mean, and then I work with women, so I hear or I come into contact with certain women, and I'm like, okay, that's why you by yourself. Okay, I understand why you by yourself because you don't nobody want to be around that. Don't nobody
Nobody.
want to deal with
Not
that.
me, not the
Mm,
man, not the churn.
Nobody
Nobody
want to
don't
be
want to be
around that.
around me.
So but as little girls, she's 3, and I watch how um like they play, and I'm a mama bear. So when somebody treat her so I'm like, what you know what I'm saying? So I have to check
Push her
myself.
down. Push her down.
Right.
Just kidding.
I have to check.
Y'all run past here,
Yeah,
and I'ma
yeah,
push her
yeah,
down.
yeah.
Just kidding.
I have to constantly check myself because the inner little girl comes up in me
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
how someone may have treated me that way, and I'm like, oh no, because
Mhm.
you will protect your children a lot more than you protect yourself. So, and when you see it,
Yep.
you're like, oh, like so. Yeah, it's a process, but I don't entertain it. I don't got time.
Mm-mm.
I just don't.
So, with both of your lives being how they are inside and outside the home, you both talked about, like, Navisa, I don't know you as well as Sharon does, but you have said a lot about your witty mind. And I know, like, my sister-in-law, she think quick too. But she is very mindful. So if you come into a situation where somebody want to clap back, especially with y'all being in Atlanta, like, how do you deal with, because when I want to watch a little ratchet TV, I might watch some Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and, and it's a lot of it's a all the things we've talked about, and these are grown women. The cattiness, the pettiness, the clapping back is what they feel like they have to do now to continue to stay on these shows, to continue to have that income coming in. But you got young girls who are growing up and looking at it. So how do you separate yourself? Like I heard you say about being in the profession and going in a certain type of way, but when you are confronted with this, how do you center yourself to make sure that you remain the women that you are and that you don't meet them where they are?
I'm not necessarily in those spaces like that. Like it's work for me. And it's so funny you brought up Love and Hip Hop because I watched a couple clips of that today and I was very saddened. And the reason why I was saddened is because it feels like to me that as black women or black people, um, and I never throw the black card, you know what I mean? Because I just don't. Like I know that black and white and different ethnicities exist, but I don't try to live by that. Like, you know what I mean? My grandfather is a white man. So, or was a white man. He's deceased now. But um it hurt my heart to see that in order to be successful or to look successful or to be in the spotlight or to have the highest ratings, you have to be tearing each other down or lying or talking about each other or gossiping about each other. And as much as I remember being in the presence of somebody, I was working with them on set. Excuse me. I was working with them on set and somebody had posted something on the internet about them from another show that they had been working on, right? Not the show we were working on. And to watch that person crumble the way that I watched them crumble was unreal. It was like they went into this, they began to shake and their voice was trembling and saying how the person was messing with them and all this stuff. And I was just like, oh my gosh. But guess what? They will go right back on that show and get a check because it pays. And the more messed up it is, the more they act up, the better the check, the better the ratings. Like, you know what I'm saying? And to me, that's so sad. Like, I feel like I've experienced some of the meanest people in black women that I have ever seen in my life. Like, one of my friends out of California be calling me, and I said, girl, black women are some of the most hateful people I have ever seen in my life. Like, I don't understand it. And so I don't really, outside of being at work, I'm not in those environments where I don't center myself around people that I need to be having a quick response for. Now, my quick responses in this day and time is humor. Like before you get it out, I got a response. Like, you know what I mean? Because my mind just goes that fast. But not to be offensive. Like, you know what I mean? And if I say something and I realize that I was offensive, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything by that because regardless of how old we are, offense is offense. Like, you know? And so, I try not to be around people that I have to deal with that with. If I'm at work and I am working with somebody and they are kind of difficult, if they get out of the way, I'll be like, listen, don't talk to me that way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't talk to me that way because I have been nothing but respectful to you. So, we ain't gonna do that. And, you know, I can kind of disengage it like that because really, if you start feeding fire, which I can, it can come to blows. And I ain't doing that either. Like, that is dumb. It's dumb. You know, so I just try to keep myself um, away from it. They be calling me like, where you at? I be in the house. Girl, you always in the house. I be like, I'm in the house. You know, I just, my interests are not there. So I kind of stay away.
I can't.
I be in here like a little old lady.
I can't stomach it. Like I can't do it.
Yeah.
Like I will watch the highlights. And even then I have to keep them to a minimum. I can't do it because what's sad is even though it's reality TV and but we all know it's set up. And a lot of the women are like Rashida, Yandy, all like I'm like, y'all do realize you have to have life after that. And then here's the thing, they all have businesses. I realize that they've used that platform as a as a catalyst to like jumpstart other businesses. Um, then do that. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But then at that point, walk away. Like, okay, it
It
got me where
can't.
I needed to be, but walk away. But when you start um allowing yourself to be who you are not, that's something that I can't do. We were like a salon that I used to work at for years. Was approached, and I told them I'm not doing it, and they were like, "What do you mean? We all have to do." I was like, "I'm not doing it. I would never embarrass myself, not alone my mama, um, on no show to get a couple dollars. I'm not doing that. Like God gonna have to
Yeah.
he something else will be presented, but it won't be that." And even and I remember that same salon because the girl and I had done everything for her. And this is when like Instagram was starting to become like really, really popular. She went on there and she told people that she made me, that I was this, I was that, that I didn't know this until I met her. All these kind of things. So she and people were calling me like, and I could have took that and allowed it to destroy me, but I was like, you know what, girl? I told them, I said, don't call me with that. I don't want to hear that. Whatever she got to say, that's her business. That's not mine. I blocked her from everything, and it went away because people that know me knew it wasn't true. She was just mad because I had done everything for her, and she was going to have to now do it for herself. And I had so many secrets on her. Like I could have made her go in a hole and crawl out and never be able to get back out. She wouldn't want to come back out. But I'm not gonna do that. And I never have been that type of person. Now I have been the type of person
Mm-hmm.
I can cut you and I don't have to yell, holler, scream. I don't curse, never have. But I can cut you to the point where you it ain't what you want. And it's gonna all be true. But just because it's true doesn't mean that that's what I'm supposed to do. That's between you and God. But I have
Mm-hmm.
now have
Mm-hmm.
learned to kind of control that as much as I can. But
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. It's not cute to be the mean girl. It's not cute to say you read somebody. Like who are you and what are you? And what's sad is when we go out of the country and we go to different states and islands and you tell them that you're from Atlanta, they think that that's how we act. They perceive us to be that. They really believe that that's like real life, and that's what's really sad. We've been skiing in Telluride, and we were in Walmart, and of course we're the only group of black people and black women, and the first thing they say is, "Are y'all the housewives?" And we're like, "What, girl?" What? Like, and they really believe that. Um, So and I love my black people. I love being. I don't want to be. And my great grandfather was white as well. So we all mixed up in. But I love black. Don't want to be nothing else. However, sometimes we are our worst enemy. In a lot of ways. Um, and black women especially, and I know we have a lot on us. We have to. Some of us have to raise our children by ourselves. Some of us have been hurt, raped, done wrong, all the things. Like we have all the reasons why, but it does not serve us in any way. It does
Mm-mm.
not serve our children, our young girls that's coming behind us, and that's even worse. Like this whole the generations under, I, we just better pray and keep praying without ceasing because they are. It's really really sad, and it's not getting.
And no, I'm
No, go
sorry.
ahead.
And what about the moms that don't like little
Mm-hmm.
girls? They get they little girls.
And it's a lot. It's
Cause
a
that's
lot of that.
that's a
And
thing too.
I have really, really good friends that are really, really good people. And I'm talking about good women, beautiful women,
Mm-hmm.
and they have the worst relationships with their mothers. I've never, and I'm on the outs because I don't have that type of relationship with my mom. I never
Mm-hmm.
have. I talk to my mama twice a day. I, that's like my road dog for real. Tiffany knows that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I can't relate to that. But I
Mm-hmm.
have so many friends that are
Mm-hmm.
beautiful inside and out, and they have such troubled relationships with their mothers. We we're doing it to our daughters. We're doing it to our sons because we're raising men that don't like women, that are abusing women,
Ooh.
and are not taking care of their women. Or we're raising daughters who are so mean and evil spirited. Like, and it all comes to us.
Yes.
It's all down to us. We control how men treat us.
Yes.
We control the men we
Yes.
raise. We control the women we raise. And if we don't figure it
Yes,
out
Lord.
and get ourselves together, we're lost. And we're gonna have to answer to that.
Because we teach it is an unspoken thing. The boys in the family get
Yeah.
coddled from the time
Mm-hmm.
they little. You teach the sisters to deal with coddled
Mm-hmm.
boys and men by just living in the house with them.
Mm-hmm.
No, cause he a boy, he different.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's different cause he a boy.
Mm-hmm.
And then they grow up to be coddled men,
Mm-hmm.
and then expecting a woman to coddle
Mm-hmm.
them. And the women, because they've seen that men are supposed to be coddled since they was little, they coddle them.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but coddle them with resentment.
Right.
And so now you mean and you mad.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have no self-respect and no self-love when it comes to a man. So he just dogging you.
Mm-hmm.
And you just, I forgive you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to forgive you before you're sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take you back before you're sorry. There's no consequence. There's no standard. There's no, and I'm speaking from a place of experience. Not now, but I was like, you know what I'm saying. It what didn't cause me to be hateful to people, but how many times have we even been upset with men and took it out on the woman?
Mm-hmm.
Cause you ain't, cause the woman ain't do it. She might have participated in it, but that's not who your commitment and who your agreement was with. That it was with that man
Mm-hmm.
that you love real bad,
Mm-hmm.
and you somewhere acting crazy with another woman because he's lying to you. Like, I don't. It's just it's like a vicious cycle. And back to what Sharon was saying, before they got to know me, um, they probably want to get to know you, but you exude confidence into an insecure person. It's fearful. They not gonna show you they fearful, but then it turns into she thinks she like, people tell me, I thought you was mean. I'm like, I am far from mean. Far from mean. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's the look on my face or whatever, but I'm not mean at all. I can be very stern, but I'm not mean.
I have one of each. So I can only try to make sure that I raise
Mm-hmm.
opposite of that. Like my mom always says,
Mm-hmm.
you can raise somebody's nightmare or somebody's dream.
Mm-hmm.
So it's my responsibility to make sure that I raise God fearing, responsible people. Now, I just
Mm-hmm.
got to put enough in them so when they out in the world on their own, it sustains them, and it does like us because we did all the things, but the seed was planted.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
we came back around. And that's really the only thing that we can do. And I have friends that have the same values. So those are who my children play with, that like to
Yes.
so that even out in the world, if they see them, they can correct them and know that I'm not going to take offense
Mm-hmm.
to it. But it's
Mm-hmm.
done on purpose and it's done with intention, because if not, you and I will
They'll be
say that
lost.
is the blessing of having children older because I learned all the lessons before. Not all the lessons,
Mm-hmm.
but I've done the work. So we know hurt people. And when you don't know and you still trying to figure it out on your own, it's hard. You when you're raising your children, you're growing up and being raised at the same time. But at least
Mm-hmm.
I can say we've done the work. So some of the trauma they won't experience. Um, I can't shelter them
That's a
from
blessing.
everything, but I can do my best. I
Mm-hmm.
can do my best, and I think that's all that's required. But it has to be
Yes.
with intent. Period. I a couple years ago, my intention because I don't do like New Year's resolutions or anything at all. I just try to be better tomorrow than I was today. But I started, as they can say, cutting off the fat, meaning people that did not serve me. That's friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's friends that I've had for 20 years that
Mm-hmm.
I had to like just
Same.
because they were I was realizing it wasn't a two-way street. Not that you give in order to get back, but I need to at least know that you love
That I
me
got some reciprocity.
just as much
Mm-hmm.
as I love you. It doesn't have to look the
Mm-hmm.
same by any means,
Yes.
but I need you to handle me with care. And when I
There you
realize
go.
you're not handling me with care, I let you go. And it took a long time for me to get that way.
Me too.
But I've I try to whether it's a sister-in-law, a daughter, a mother, a wife, I just try to nurture those relationships and the people that were not serving me, I had to let go. Because
Yeah.
of me, I love really, really hard.
Me too.
So I can't put it into you and it's an empty vessel. Like I
And then
can't.
getting it back. There you go.
I can't. So
Girl.
I can only
I need the same
yeah,
effort that I'm
yeah,
giving, even if it looks
yeah.
different, like
Yeah,
you
I
said.
need the same
Mm-hmm.
effort. And my people know that
Mm-hmm.
I'll ride all the way.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yes, you will.
I can't if this ain't reciprocity. Yeah, I still love you. That doesn't take away.
Absolutely.
And I've told some of my friends like, there's nothing you can do to stop me from loving you. But I no longer will allow you to treat me the way because it's not your fault. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's who you are. It's my fault because I'm putting myself in a situation because I'm expecting you to be capable of something that you're not capable of. So then whose fault is it? So
Like they say.
so I've just learned
That's real.
I can't I can't.
That's real.
I,
I went through that this year. This year, I went through a major cutting. And I ain't mad at nobody. Nobody. I ain't mad. I don't got no odds. No. Listen, I sleep peacefully at night. Real bad. Real bad under them covers, honey. And I just, it was the realization that I came to like, hmm, hmm, I'm not getting, and then I begin to reflect back over the years and I'm like,
and you never realize it because
mm-mm,
you're the one always giving, and you never
mm-hmm,
need them. So
yeah,
because you're always giving and you never notice, oh wow, you wouldn't be able to do the same or don't even want to do the same for me because you're always doing
ain't
it.
got no intention on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And then you be like, oh,
mm-mm.
and then you start thinking back, and not that you counting receipts or anything,
Yes,
but you're just
yes.
reflecting on.
And you like, and then this time, and then, oh, the fruit has always been there. The fruit of who you are has always been there. I have just put the fruit in the juicer and drink the fruit.
Or you
You know what I'm
or
saying? Like,
you went and put your fruit there, so you didn't know the difference.
yeah, yeah. Hmm. The signs are always there, and it's a process. This comes with learning to love yourself. It comes with solidifying, like it comes with making sure your relationship with the Lord is solidified. That's the only way you can make sure your relationship with yourself is solidified. And once you do that, then this is the measuring tool that I'm gonna use for every relationship, and I'm loyal down to my bone marrow, and sometimes I feel like that really sucks. I do. I'd be like, bruh, if I could just be a little more selfish, you know what I mean? But it's not in me to do. So what I realize is you have to get around people that you can be that too. You can be loyal to. You can be your complete self, your giving self too. If you can't if you have to cap the giving because of the relationship that you're in, that's the wrong
You gotta
relationship
find
because
a
you're
safe
not able to be
space.
yourself.
You gotta find a safe space that you can be your authentic self, and no one is gonna take advantage of that.
There you
Because
go.
if nothing else, y'all gonna be. Because now my friends is friends. We gotta fight and trick who pay the bill, or who do this, or we trying to outgive each other to each other and out
Yeah.
be there for each
Yeah.
other. But you gotta find that space, because
Mm-hmm.
a profound thing that Jamal Bryant said, and that it sticks. It's like stuck right here, and it was a a giver and a taker can't be in a relationship, because the
No,
giver has no limits, but neither does the taker. So if you
they
in a
don't have a
relationship
cutoff.
with a taker, as long as you giving it, they taking.
They're gonna take. Mm-hmm. That's true. I know some. Like I know some very close and personal, and I be having to say, you gotta establish a cutoff from what you will take from people. Because you are that's usury. It's you taking advantage. Like you can't, and then you cannot do that and then pray and ask the Lord, oh, please bless me. Huh? It don't make sense. The two don't go together. You have to be, it says give and it shall be given unto you, not take. You know what I mean? So you got to figure out, not to say that you can't take things or that you can't accept things from people. Sometimes it's hard for me to receive. Like, you know what I mean? Excuse me, but you have to. It's just give and take. You can't just always be the giver. You'll be empty if you don't allow people to give to you too. However, you cannot be a person that's just always doing this and you don't never have anything to give. Or you won't give to the capacity that you take. That's nuts. That's nuts. Mm-mm. And maybe that comes from a space of feeling like you're not enough, so you don't have enough. I don't know. I don't know.
You both said some good things. I think that would be great for anybody. But I don't know if all of the listeners are um, of a mature age. So if you were able to say something, Sharon, you talked about your relationship with your mom, and every young girl doesn't have that. And even if you have a good relationship with your mother, some women were not taught because of generational things to carry themselves a certain way. So they don't know how to protect themselves physically or even emotionally the way that as you've aged and matured, or at least I've learned to do that. So, what advice would y'all give to them so they don't grow up and be petty patties, especially in, like we talked about, the society today? It highlights all the negativity and it highlights all of the just, it seems like the wrong behaviors and the wrong actions, the wrong ways you should carry yourself, and like just, I guess in a way, modesty that it is not cute for them. They want to be savages and they want to do all these things. We're talking. I would also ask for your advice to the older. So it's a part A and a part B, or two-part question to that. For women who are learning and maybe trying to separate themselves from those types of behaviors, advice that you would have for the women, and also advice that you would have for younger girls who are growing up, and they sometimes it's in you where you know you don't want to act the way that you're acting. So what advice would y'all give to those girls who may not have a woman in their life like you? Or they don't think they have it, because a lot of times God will put people in place and you either push them away for a season or a time being, or you just don't want to hear what they have to say. So if they stumble upon this on whichever platform that they may stumble upon it on, what advice would you have?
I would say to focus on what your goals are in life. This is the stuff that I say to the little people or the younger people, because you know they might get offended if I call them little. um, when I talk to my younger, uh, my nieces, my nephews, young kids, I always tell them focus on come up with some goals. Like I always ask them questions like, what do you want to do? What do you like to do? Like, you know, and I try to get them to I try to pick their brain like that. And then I say, okay, so whatever you want to do, then your goal is to make it to do that, right? And they say, right. And I say, okay, so focus on what it is that you want to do. You got to come up with a plan or ask someone to help you come up with a plan to get to the goal that you're trying to get to. And everything else that goes against you making it to that goal, cut that off. Whether it's people, whether it is things that may benefit you short term but not long term, whether it's places that you may be intrigued to go or you found yourself in, you know what I mean? Nothing is worth you missing your goals. And you have to determine what that looks like for you. And if you make decisions, the decisions you make now, whatever decisions you make sure you don't mind dealing with them by the time you turn 50, because you are. Also, do what you want done to you, because you will get it back. I don't care what it is. It's a loan. So if you do good by people and you do good by yourself, that's the first person you should be doing good by, yourself. If you do good by people, then good will come back to you. It does not mean you're not going to have challenges, because you will. If you live, you're going to have challenges, period, point blank. But when you do good and you fashion your intention and your heart posture to be good, good will follow you. It will come back to you. It will come back in the form of a helping hand. It will come back in the form of kindness. It will come back in the form of prosperity in some area that you were trying to gain it in. So instead of focusing on all this other stuff that people are doing, you are an individual. And this can go for grown people too, because a lot of times grown people are grown in age, but they still have that wounded child inside. So they're stuck at the age that they were when whatever happened, they just, their body still grew. You know what I mean? And so that's the thing. Also, be mindful of your company. Be intentional about who is in your life. Who are you connected to? Reason being is the stuff that goes on with the people that's connected to you is going to affect you. I don't care who you are, what status you are, how much money you have, where you live in the world. The people who are connected to you, their things, their traumas, their prosperity, their issues, their life stuff will affect you. If my friend is going through, it's going to make me go through in my emotions. If I'm standing next to you outside and somebody rides past and sprays you with a water hose and I'm standing shoulder to shoulder with you, guess what's going to happen to me? I'm going to get wet from the water hose. So You got to be intentional about who is connected to you. If I'm out with you, my grandma used to say, you're going to be guilty by association. You know what I mean? If I'm outside with you and you're stealing, if I'm outside with you and you are using drugs, that stuff, birds of a feather flock together. That stuff will spill off of you onto me, or what's on me can spill off of me onto you. It is no harmless association, in my opinion. So you got to choose, what is this person's values that you're connecting yourself to? I told my niece, I said, she's telling me she liked a guy. And I said, do he make good grades? And she said, he make okay grades. Like, he don't make like real good grades, but he make okay grades. I said, does he have a job? She said, mm-mm. I said, break up with him. And she was like, huh? Because he's a teenager. He doesn't make good grades and he don't have no other responsibility. Mm-mm. That's not where you trying to be in life. And at the age you are, the decisions you make right now is going to follow you for the rest of your life. I said, so if he doesn't have the mind frame to go to school and make good grades and he don't have nothing else to do, no other responsibilities, that's not the person you want to tie your life with. That's not who you want to be seen with. He might be cute. He might be fine right now and all of that stuff. But I promise you, that individual right there, you'll go off to college, get a career, and come back to where you live, and they'll be right there where you live at, doing the same stuff, singing the same stuff. Oh, girl, you look good. I ain't seen you in a long time. You know what I'm saying? So I just try to encourage them. Lean into your uniqueness. Lean into what your goals are. Always pray. God hears you, even if you're not saying it in a format like I'm saying it, because you just haven't been developed in that yet. That's fine. You don't got to sound like me. Talk to the Lord. Ask him to direct your path. Ask him to heal you from any hurt that you have going on. Like, just things like that. And there's no exact recipe for it. Like, you know what I mean? Each person's situation is different and each person's life is different. But I think we can incorporate some key points and some key values to just keep them at a positive outlook. Also, get out of your environment sometimes. Because I know growing up, the heroes were drug dealers. Mm-hmm. They had all the money. In the city where we grew up, it wasn't like these major jobs. The major jobs was at GE. When you come out of there and you come into Atlanta, GE looked like chump change down here. Like, you got more black millionaires than you will ever see living in the city. You want to get on, you can get on in Atlanta. You want to see, you got to take them to see stuff. I remember we thought we was doing something, girl. We was in Raleigh, we was in Myrtle Beach, we was in Charlotte, we was in Jacksonville, we was in the little surrounding areas. Meanwhile, it's a whole world out here. And back then, it ain't cost what it cost for us to go nowhere now. We could have been somewhere, like been somewhere. I thank God that he let me go somewhere back then, because I would not be on this podcast right now, Jesus. He didn't let me go somewhere, okay? But that's okay. That's okay. He let me wait to find out that I could go somewhere when I was able to act like I had some sense going somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like as children, had our parents taken us and exposed us to things, like let us see what people live like in a different country. Let us go take us places to let us see where Black people that look like us are prosperous and have good things going on in their life. I think that with that, we might have had something to look forward to, and not just be a product of our environment and look at one person across the street and then the person next door, and then everybody talking about everybody. This one want to walk across and tell you about the one down, and I'm just like, child, get me out of here. So I just think it's a lot of different things that play into that. You don't have to have a me necessarily, but there is someone. It's someone that's willing to talk to you. There's someone, God will send you a person. I remember a lady I didn't even know like that. She used to just drop nuggets on me when I was a teenager. And she would say, "Don't let nobody do this to you." And I'm just looking at this lady like, what is she talking about? But through life, I remember her saying it. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, oh, she was trying to help me, you know? Or my grandma would say stuff to me, "Girl, you better love people to love you." And I was like, what is she talking about? I better love people to love me. Huh? That don't even make sense. But it did. But I didn't realize it until I got older. But nobody instilled that stuff in me too. My spirit was very broken as a kid. So it caused me to grow up with low self-esteem and lack of self-respect and lack of self-love. Like I grew up with that. And it wasn't until I was an adult that I came out of those spaces. So that is some of the things that, you can give to a child or an adult just for food for thought.
Um, and for me, I had opposite of that. So my mother made
Mm-hmm.
sure if it wasn't nothing but riding to Wrightsville Beach or Carolina Beach and we looking at big houses, like I always had
Mm-hmm.
a bigger picture. Yes, my mother exposed me to different environments, whether it was Disney, whether it was Busch Gardens. Like she just exposed us. We didn't have a lot, especially in the beginning, but she used what she did have. And when we got older, we were exposed, and we my parents did what they were supposed to do. But even in all of that, I still suffered um heartache. I still suffered um people taking advantage of me or harming me in ways a child should never be harmed. So my advice, and some things only come by experience alone. I would like to say that it was a magic formula that we could give and it could teach you, give you a cheat code, but some things come
Mm-hmm.
by experience and experience only. But I will say, if you don't have a mother figure or aunt, or find a mentor,
Mm-hmm.
find someone that looks like what you want to be, and find that person
Yes.
that's willing to share themselves with you, because you can find a lot of people that will
Mm-hmm.
look like what you want to be, but their heart is not right. So you have to find someone that looks like what you want to be and are
Yes.
willing to share who they
Mm-hmm.
are, because somebody did it for them. Because see, it's a continued
Mm-hmm.
effect. You just don't get to be who you are by yourself. Anybody great, everybody starts. I tell my lash artist that all the time, like, yeah, my lashes look like this today, but girl, if you see what we did when I first started, I'm ashamed to show you, but I say that to say everybody has a first day. No one just gets where they are without
Mm-hmm.
someone helping them, coaching them, and be teachable too. Because if you think you know everything, which I have had that phase, and I think we all have, where we think we know everything and nobody can
Real
tell
bad.
us anything, but that's the hard road. That's a hard
Real
road.
bad.
That's a hard road. So find you someone that wants you, wants to share with you and be teachable, learn how to be a good steward um, over what you have, um, develop a true relationship with God. Like it was a time, like even when I moved to Atlanta, I didn't
Mm.
need God because I had my mom and my dad. So everything I wanted, I got from them. I didn't need him. But when I got here and I was here by myself, and my mom, it's gonna take her 6 hours to get to me, like, you have to develop a relationship with with Jesus himself, because some things in the middle of the night,
Come on here.
he and him alone can only get you out of.
Clock that T.
So yeah, be teachable.
Listen. Listen.
Yes, listen to somebody, but yeah, and the things that I'm too old for at this point, I just don't have time for nonsense. I don't have time to be playing games. I meet people where they are. If they go left, I go left. They go right, I go right. I'm not trying to convince you to be anything else but who you want to be. And when it does not serve me, then I'm not trying to
There you
convince
go.
you to be nothing else. I just
Cause
remove myself. I just don't have time because life is really too short, and we are all
mm-hmm,
experiencing
mm-hmm,
heartache in some form in many ways, and life is really really hard right now.
because you're
So I'm not
projecting.
adding on no
Are you
more
crazy? Yeah, no.
to my
I want to be in here
yeah
eating my lamb burger and my shrimp
yeah
salad and watching documentaries,
hmm
reading my word.
hmm
Amen.
hmm
I don't got time for the
hmm
foolishness. I
no, I don't.
don't.
Yeah,
Mm-mm-mm. Me
I don't
either.
have time for that.
Ain't gonna
I
make
don't.
time for it either.
But that's it.
Mm-mm.
Thank y'all so much. I think you have both just given so much information to people who want to change and maybe are looking for ways to adapt their circles, looking for ideas on how to create their own boundaries and how to show themselves love. Because I think in a lot of what you said, they kind of root from those things and just getting themselves planted and getting around the right people. So, tea lovers, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's episode and that you will subscribe so you can make sure that you catch the next one.